to another edition of Fantasy Dream Homes, and today we're going to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And hang on, we're gonna zoom right in here, so you can see the state of Idaho. It's a panhandle state. Here's your panhandle right here. Okay, Coeur d'Alene is up in the northern part of the state, northwestern part of the state. We'll zoom in a little closer there. It's about 44,000 people, and I've been to Coeur d'Alene. Matter of fact, I was there just this last year. When you're driving through, it feels like it's one continuous city, because you have Coeur d'Alene, and here's the state boundary. This is the state of Washington. Here's the state of Idaho. And then once you cross, you have these other communities: Liberty Lake, Spokane Valley, and Spokane. Okay, it's not Spokane as some people. It's Spokane. So it's situated in the Coeur d'Alene Mountains. It's particularly beautiful because when you look closely, let's just zoom in on some of these mountains. These are heavily forested mountains. That's why it's the deep green. If we get in real close, well, let's see. If we can get in real close, you can start to see the trees. And they're just covered with forest. And this is the way typically the northwestern part of the United States is. You're going to have these mountains. This is ultimately part of it's the Coeur d'Alene Mountains, which is part of the Bitterroot Mountain Range, which is ultimately part of the Rocky Mountains. Okay, so the Rocky Mountains is the main mountain range here. It's all part of the Rocky Mountains. So it's known for its hiking, tourism. This is Lake Coeur d'Alene. It's quite long. It's about 20 kilometers, or about 12 miles, just from here to here. Probably another 20 kilometers, 12 miles from here to here. So the city is named after the Coeur d'Alene people, a federally recognized tribe of Native Americans who lived along the rivers and lakes of the region in a territory of approximately 5,500 square miles, or about 14,000 square kilometers, extending into Washington and Montana. So they were the first encountered by French fur traders in the late 18th and early 19th century. And these traders referred to them as these Native Americans as Coeur d'Alene, meaning heart of an owl. And it was reflecting their experience of the tribal traders as tough businessmen, or sharp-hearted or shrewd people. The climate is characterized by a cold, moist climate in winter and very warm, dry conditions in the summer. And I think I've got a climate graph here for you. This is from Wikipedia. I love these, by the way. I wish they would do them for all cities and countries this way. I like them because they put the temperatures in both Fahrenheit and Celsius. So you can see, and they have the record highs and the average highs. So if you just look at the average highs going through from January, and remember, in the northern hemisphere, your colder months are January, February, March, okay? And your hottest months are June, July, August, which is just the opposite than the southern hemisphere, where it's just going to be flipped around. But if you look at these temperatures, so in July, average high, lower 80s, hotter than you sort of would expect, being in the mountain ranges like you are, but it does get, or in the upper 20s Celsius scale. So, and winters above freezing, so it gets cold. They get plenty of snow. I know, because I drove through there and there was plenty of snow on the ground. So one of the things you're gonna find I find interesting anyway is, how do you pronounce Coeur d'Alene? And I've heard it said Coeur d'Alene, but you're gonna hear different opinions. And this is coming right off YouTube, so listen.
Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene.
Okay, that's one. That's one opinion. Here's another one.
Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene.
And that's the way I've heard it pronounced more. Even though I was there, I wasn't going to walk around going to, the local residents. How do you say the name of this town? You know what I mean? So, Coeur d'Alene, I think, this is a great topic for the comments area. So, put in your opinions in the comments area. We'd sure appreciate it. So, today's website is going to be featuring Trulia, and I try to mix it up. The best websites for real estate in this country are Zillow, realestate.com, and Trulia, and today we're going to use Trulia. So let's get right into our first property here, our first fantasy dream home. And this one is going for, and I'll put up, of course, as always, I'll put up the currency conversions, but it's about a $5 million home. 4 bedrooms, 6 baths. The interior space is about 7,800 square feet. Good sized house, sits on about 1.4 acres of land, and it was built in 2002. It sits on Lake Coeur. So beautiful views that we're going to see here. So let me stop talking and let's get on with our first virtual tour. Okay, so that was our first house, and you'll have to let us know in the comments. Let's get right on to our second house. Second house we're going up in price is about $5.5 million. It's 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, interior space about 6,600 square feet. Sits on a bigger piece of land, about 13.18 acres. Built in 2019, so it's a brand new house. It says that it has when you read the description, a southern exposure and long distance lake views. Also shares a multi-family dock. Southern exposure, especially when we're talking about the northern hemisphere, the southern exposure is a good thing because it means most of your windows, like you see here, they're all facing the south. Well, what does that mean? In the winter, the sun is going to be crawling along the southern sky. So it's a natural way to warm your house when you have lots of windows facing the south. If these windows were facing the north, you would have a very cold house and you'd be using that furnace all the time. So that's the advantage to having a southern exposure. Okay, so enough talking. Again, let's take our second virtual tour and of this fantasy dream home. Okay, so that was our second fantasy dream home. One of the things I found annoying is that the real estate agent or whoever assembled these photos, they're totally disorganized. So you'll have indoor photos, then you're looking out at the beach, then you're back inside, then you go back out to the dock, then you're back inside. You know, you got to put all your outside photos together, and a lot of redundant photos. So you're going to notice I did some chopping up in the editing because I'll keep the outside ones in one spot and I'm not going to show them again. So, okay, so getting on to our third and final fantasy dream home. This one is the highest price one yet, about $8 million, 7 beds, 9 baths. Interior space about 13,000 plus square feet. It's a big interior. Sitting on about acre and a half of land. It was built in 1922. Okay, it sits on the Coeur d'Alene lakefront. It's in the Coeur d'Alene lakefront estate historic home. What does that mean? Well, historic homes in most communities in the United States means that the home has to be at least 50 years old. If it's at least 50 years old, it's considered a historic home. And I'm sure that some of our European viewers are probably laughing because there are so many homes in Europe that are going to be, I don't know whether they would call them historic homes or not, but anyway. It's a classic Victorian style, and what I'd like to do here is show you real quick our Pinterest page. And the beautiful thing about Pinterest is you come down here on our boards, we'll keep scrolling. It's real easy to find our Pinterest page. It's just, here it is, pinterest.com/fantasy-dreamhomes. Please visit the page. Please follow us on Pinterest. And I'll show you one of the many things that is an advantage here. So we'll keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. And here we go. Architectural styles of homes. Let's click in there. Scroll down. And you'll see all these different styles of homes, but we spent a lot of time trying to make this a great page. And here we have Victorian homes, which is our third and final fantasy dream home. Lots of examples of you can look at and see, and I try to tell you where these are located. Like this particular one's located in Minnesota. So please check out our Fantasy Dream Homes page on Pinterest and follow us. And so let's get on to our third and final home. Okay, so that was our third and final fantasy dream home. So you'll have to let us know what you thought, which home you liked the best, and also we appreciate your comments. If you have any suggestions to make on how we can improve the program, please put them in the comments, and we will take them very seriously. As always, thank you so much for watching, and keep smiling, and we'll see you next time right here on Fantasy Dream Homes. Bye-bye.